Repeat this after me. Let my sin be sin so that it can fall under God's grace. Because if I don't put my sin under, if I don't call it sin, then I am erasing the opportunity for it to be under God's grace. You know, on Sundays when we do Holy Communion, first Sundays here, we talk about, and Paul talks about it in Corinthians, it's like that you're not supposed to come to the table with unconfessed sin. It's that same mindset. Don't go around holding on to sin, because then you're not availing grace. And you're separating yourself from God. If you separate yourself from God's grace by ignoring your sinfulness, you're separating yourself from God. I don't know about you. I don't want to be separated from God. And so what ends up happening is you got to resist the urge to lay in your pride or your embarrassment or your humiliation and just put it there. And the difference between, I'm sorry if I feel like I'm jumping around, but it's the difference between Judas and Peter. Are you with me? Both betrayed Christ. You clear about this? One confessed it and repented. He admitted that he was wrong. And the other just cried and stayed where he was. And then what does he ultimately do? He ultimately kills himself rather than submit himself. Do you see this? I'm wrapped up in my own sorrow so much that I've allowed the enemy to impress me rather than letting the Spirit of God impress me. And so what do? I get in despair and take my own life. Not over here. This dude is like, I was so wrong. Just wrong. Lord, forgive me. And then when Jesus calls for him, he's not too ashamed to go. He takes his shame, puts it in a back pocket, and he goes. And we said, well, when did he call him? He told, oh, Lord, have mercy. The edict was, tell the disciples and Peter to meet me. Do you see what I'm saying? That's one of my favorite things in the world. Is the idea that he singled out Peter because he knew, one, that he probably wouldn't be with the others because he's still shamed. But number two, that he knew Peter would need a special invitation of grace. Because if you just say, go tell my disciples, Peter has self-disqualified. You been there before? Not again, Lord. I don't even want to ask you. This is too terrible, Lord. I don't even want to talk about it. You're through with me. You can't use me again. That's self-identification and disqualification. Jesus is not in the disqualifying business. Huh? He just ain't. Come as you are. Confess your sins. The God that saved you is surely the God that can forgive you. And the God that saved you can renew you. Anybody getting this morning? Your worst sin is simply not being in fellowship with God. That's what you were when he found you. There isn't a worse sin that you can do. Some of us in this room, when we got saved, we was nice little boys and girls. Or we were moral men and women. Some of the rest of us, not so much. Guess what? Same salvation. Do you know a scallywag that has done all kind of, that's a good old English word, that has done all kind of wretched stuff and done stuff you wouldn't even want described in front of your mama and all like that. It don't take no more to save them. Oh, God have mercy. Than a nice little 16-year-old boy or girl that ain't done nothing, ain't been nowhere, hardly don't even think nothing bad. Do you know they're the same unregenerate heart? Isn't that amazing? God said there's none righteous. No, not. We're the ones doing the measurement. God did the gross measurement in the beginning. There is none righteous. So come on back to him.